Today, I'm going to tell you all about clean waste systems. But before I get into our innovative modern approach, let's take a look at the landscape today. Medical waste is a big problem for hospitals, and it's costing medical centers over $6 billion a year. And that number isn't projected to go down anytime soon. And it's a tough problem to solve, too, because you got a lot of factors converging at one point. You've got safety concerns and environmental impact and liability and HIPAA compliance. So for the last 50 years, hospitals have been grappling with these same challenges, and innovations come slowly. Today, there's really only two broad approaches to medical waste processing. One, you can outsource your waste to an offsite processing center, or two, you can install your own on-site waste processing system. If you choose to outsource, you've got to go through a series of steps. First, you have the hassle of sorting everything into a bunch of different bags, and then you got to get it all properly packaged and labeled, and then you have to store it. You need space and continuous refrigeration. You also have a lot of touching and handling of the waste, and it all amounts to a lot of operational costs. You've got the administrative hassle of scheduling pickups and making sure you have the waste where it needs to be, and you need to have staff to coordinate it. And the costs really add up over time, too. These third-party processors use these evergreen contracts, and pricing keeps going up and up and up and up and up, and the expense is really unpredictable. Invoices are intentionally complex, and it makes it really frustrating for hospitals. And finally, you just have to hope that it's all being done right, because you, as the hospital, are responsible for the waste cradle to grave. Whether you're handling it or outsourcing it, the liability always falls back to the hospital. So if documents aren't being shredded, or if infectious waste is leaking out of the back of a truck somewhere, like that's your name on the front page of the paper. That's on you. For all those reasons, the EPA and the VA recommend processing waste on-site. Over the past couple of decades, there's really only been two frontrunners for on-site treatment systems. First is the autoclave. It's basically a giant pressurized steam cooker. Okay, you put the waste in, it uses pressure and heat to steam away the pathogens. The downside here is it's really nasty to work around. It stinks and the room gets caked in residue. It also uses a ton of water and energy to operate. So it gets expensive over time. And it doesn't even shred by itself. So you could still, at the end of the day, end up with liability exposure. So the second is the incinerator, and this one is really good at getting rid of medical waste, but it comes at a cost. You're really just burning garbage, and you don't have to be an expert in medical waste to know that that's pretty frowned upon due to the environmental impact. These are really expensive to run. They come with a ton of maintenance. If you don't already have one, the installations are super expensive. But these two systems are what's out there now, and they've been the industry go-to for decades. That's all changing. Today, there's a simple, safe, sustainable way to process waste on-site. Hospitals like you have the option now to take control of your own waste, cradle to the grave, cutting out the hassle and liability of working with a third party. It's now possible to take waste treatment in-house without the dangerous heat, nasty working conditions, and high operating costs. And rather than using traditional methods like the ones we looked at before, innovative hospitals are using ozone. You now have a proven, cost-effective way to treat infectious waste using the same oxygen we breathe. So here's how ozone sterilization works. And we won't spend a ton of time on the nerdy stuff, but let's go back to 10th grade science class really quick. Ozone is the triatomic form of oxygen, and it's one of the strongest oxidizing agents available. In order to get ozone, you first have to electrically charge regular O2 oxygen. Once it's charged, the molecules split apart and bond together in groups of three. Now, instead of O2 oxygen, you have O3 ozone. That ozone naturally seeks out pathogens, it opens holes in the cells, which quickly deteriorate and die in seconds. It's a natural controlled process, and once it's done, that ozone is converted back into oxygen and it gets released into the air. There's no heat, no water, no dangerous chemicals, zero emissions through waste treatment when you process your waste using ozone technology. And it might sound like crazy science stuff, but this technology isn't new. It's been around and it's been used for over 100 years in all kinds of applications. Like the municipal water you drink from your tap might be treated with ozone. The detergent you use to wash your family's clothes might use ozone. The brewery down the street might sterilize its equipment using ozone. It's simple, it's safe, it's sustainable, and it's widely used in many industries. Nothing about it is new. So while ozone sterilization isn't anything new or crazy or innovative, if a hospital wants to use it to process waste, it needs a simple, easy-to-use system. So a few years ago, Clean Waste Systems began developing a solution. And it's quickly changing the way hospitals are approaching medical waste. Today, there's two system sizes. You've got the OMW 400, which can process 400 pounds of waste per hour, and the OMW 1000, which can process 1,000 pounds of waste per hour. Both systems follow the same general, simple process, but for this illustration, we're going to show the OMW 400. The waste container is rolled up onto the lifting mechanism. A single button push starts the processing, and waste is weighed, lifted, and documented. A door automatically opens up and the waste is dumped into a shredding system. And that system uses a heavy-duty industrial power shredder to break apart the waste. And it reduces volume by up to 80%, making it completely unrecognizable. That shredded waste is then exposed to our patented humidizone, which is ozone with moisture for complete sterilization and odor reduction. And once the process is complete, the shredded sterilized waste is expelled into a container where it can be safely transferred to a landfill. The whole process is automated and it's unbelievably easy to use. If you choose clean waste systems, you're opting for an easier operating experience with fewer administrative headaches. You're choosing a system that's safe to use and a system that allows your employees to breathe clean air. You're choosing to take control of your medical waste and reduce your liability risk. You're producing zero emissions through the treatment of medical waste, significantly reducing your carbon footprint. You are choosing to be a leader in sustainability. There simply isn't a better way to process waste on the market, but we're more than just a great system. We back our solutions with peace of mind. Our customers get maintenance plans with scheduled technician visits to ensure safety and optimization. You get direct support from a representative that knows you, your hospital, and your system. This isn't just a dream, it's proven. It's approved for use as an effective means of medical waste treatment in the US. The EPA and VA recommend on-site processing over using third-party vendors, and these systems are trusted every day by both hospitals and waste treatment processing centers. Probably the best part about clean waste systems is that in addition to the positive impact it's going to have on your safety and environmental sustainability, it actually costs less than alternatives when you take into account all of your waste processing expenses. Here's an illustration showing a hospital that produces 139 tons of medical waste per year. Okay? These are your estimated costs taking into account the purchasing price, the installation, operating costs, and maintenance compared to outsourcing to a third party. It's instant savings. And if you decide not to finance, you're going to break even in year 4, and then the savings really start to add up. So what does the process look like if you want to get started? Well, we make it simple and straightforward. It starts with a facility assessment. An experienced technician will come out and assess the space and waste volume processing requirements to determine if it's going to be a fit. After that, we provide a quote that includes the price for the system, installation. We also include operating cost estimates, so you know what to expect. Once you go through your internal review process and sign, we can get started. Finally, we'll make the installation process easy and make sure everything's done right. After it's installed, we'll conduct a training for you and your staff so everyone knows how everything works. We'll set up checkpoints following the installation to make sure your new system is meeting or exceeding your expectations. And then you'll go into a preventative maintenance plan. I really appreciate your time today, and we look forward to future conversations. Thanks.